Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here, and I am still very busy working on multiple things. So I just got another little time lapse for you, but I'm going to be discussing my process for this two-page spread in the comic. Now, before I get any things of it looks like Batman. That's kind of the point. These characters in this comic I'm doing for the YouTube. They're YouTubers, and they're kind of like spoofs on Batman and Homelander and Spider-Man. So this particular character, the Black Knight, he's a spoof on Batman. So he's kind of stuck in this time period of Sherlock Holmes right now. So that's why the outfit's a little bit different. But with the two-page spread, you want to be very careful with how you set it up. I made sure I had like a symmetry tool marker in there so I could make sure I split it at a point where no significant part is going to get cut off from word bubbles and things like that. So like where you see like the main image with the creature attacking him, that little bit that's coming off will get cut a little bit, but it'll still show up on the other side of the page, so it still works out good. But when doing a two-page spread in your layouts, you just want to be careful. Now, sometimes people like to go and do a lavish, like with backgrounds and stuff, but sometimes it's okay to just have white and just the two main things that are going on in the scene. Um, so you just have to be careful when planning that out, and also making sure that that you can see I have that border going around, so that way I know where the page is going to get cut off in the comic page itself. Um, so just making sure you kind of just plan that ahead so that when you go to plug it into whatever program you're using, like InDesign or something to do your comic page, you just make sure that it's not going to cut off anything significant in the image. Yeah, once you're done with that, I mean, you get all your line layers. Like I separated the main image from the rest of the actual panel lines. So I just called them big lines so I could remember that they're not part of the other line sections for when I mask things off. Um, so yeah, and then it's just, just like last time, simple, um, making separate layers and masking off stuff, putting down your basic color lines. I'm still kind of sticking with the dark blue on the shadows for the image. And then just really in this shot, I'm conveying a little bit more structured light of how certain things would reflect on things like that. But with the Darkling creature design for the thing that he's fighting against, it's kind of like I guess you'd say kind of like if you think of it kind of like a symbiote, like from Spider-Man, like Venom. There's going to be a lot of like if you're going super detailed like I did with the really dark black inking lines, it's a little bit easier to shadow because you can really just kind of cut it um, from different edges and almost like cutting it just in half, and it still ends up working out good with the lighting. Once you have that, you could, if you wanted to, you could leave it just as it is, just with that little bit of lighting on there, and then uh, I guess if you wanted to go more detail, which is what I do, I went in and I added highlights to it just to make it pop a little bit more. Honestly, it wasn't necessary, but when it comes to comics, you want to kind of keep some consistency. So since most of it I've been adding highlights in most of the imagery throughout the comic, I decided to keep that thing going. And since it's at nighttime and it's kind of a pale moonlight, I decided to go with kind of like a light blue on the highlights. So right now I'm just kind of going in and any areas that are just strictly just white lines, I just erase the shadows off of there. But again, I cover the entire thing in the shadow, and then you just go in and kind of cut out with the eraser tool, just slicing out the pieces that will be visible in the light. And again, just after working on these for so long, I find that that helps a lot more than trying to go in and paint the shadows in. I'm just subtracting the shadows out to create the light on the image. And I just personally feel, and you can let me know in the comments if you don't think it does. I'm not going to hurt my feelings. Um, I just personally feel like it makes it easier that way. So um, now I'm just kind of going and just doing the highlights. Again, I create a separate layer. I make sure I mask it out again, just because I don't want it to run over out into the areas that it doesn't need to be, and that's also makes it go by a lot faster. So I'm just really just hitting up major edges that would receive the light. I don't really like going through and over detailing certain things unless it's supposed to be a close-up shot that way. Um, but yeah, once that's done, I think I've been with this particular comic, any areas like except for here because it wouldn't work, on the larger image because it's all white. But I've been adding kind of like a white outline to the image just to make the foreground things pop. So anything that is a character gets a white outline on it. Things like objects and things like that that may be in the foreground, I don't leave them all. It's just to bring attention to the characters themselves. So what you'll see here in a minute, once I finish with these highlights on the characters themselves, I'll go in and just make a layer underneath all of those lines and just pick white and just use a regular straight brush. I'm not using anything fancy on any of this, honestly. No airbrushes, none of that stuff, just regular brushes. And then just go around it and I just basically trace the image with a white outline. It may seem counterintuitive to not just use the outline tool, but I've found that it also tries to put one on the inside. And just to avoid that, I just draw it myself. It's a little time consuming, but the end result makes it pop and look a little bit better. But yeah, other than that, I promise I'm still working on the animation stuff. I'm just really, really busy right now. But it will be coming. Animation takes time, so I just need the time to do it. But once I finish with this, I'll be able to get on that. I only have like 3 or 4 pages left in this particular comic. I mean, I'm still working on mine. Um, but at least having the one to work on for now will allow me to free up more time to do other stuff. So other than that, I thank you so much for sticking with me and stopping by. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the image, and if you have any questions or any ideas for videos that you want me to make here in the near future. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful and fantastic day. Remember to keep on sketching. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. All right, everyone. Bye.